All right, we are moving along in our measurement unit. Remember, we are discussing the fact that objects have attributes, things like length, area, perimeter, and volume and capacity that can be measured. When we measure the same thing, we can compare objects. So if we're measuring area of one object and another object, we can compare them. Our concept today is going to be a focus on area and perimeter. We'll leave volume for another day. You are going to be looking in the Connect sections of Unit 4, Lesson 3 to start with. We're going to look at this shape here. We're going to discuss perimeter first of all. Perimeter measures the distance around the outside of a shape, whereas area measures the squares inside a shape, a 2D shape. All right, so if that's the case, we have this rectangle. From this rectangle, we should be able to determine the perimeter as well as the area. To find the perimeter, we need to look at the lengths and widths of each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 has a length of 7 and a width of 3. Over here it would also have a length of 7 and another width of 3. So to figure that out, we would have to add them all up. 7 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3. 7 and 3 is 10, plus another 10 would equal 20, and we would just put centimeters. Whereas area, which is measuring the inside of the shape, how many squares cover the inside of a 2D shape, we could just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 rows of 7, so 7 and 7 is 14, plus another 7 is 23, so our area is 23. Or we could realize that if we multiply the length times the width, we will end up with the area. So 7 times 3, which would equal 21. Now when we describe area, when we write area, the units have to be centimeters and then squared with a little 2, meaning that these are 2D squares in here that fill this shape. So when we look at this shape, it has a perimeter of 20 centimeters and an area of 21. All right, at this point to practice, could you please hit pause and find the perimeter as well as the area of each rectangle. Perimeter and area of each rectangle. As always, remember to show your work. And in this case, also add the units. All right, at this point, let's try the perimeter of each. So for our first rectangle, we have a length of 5 and a width of 3, so 5 plus 3, and of course we have another length and another width, so we're going to add those again. 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, so it would just be 16 centimeters. The area of this shape would be length times width, so 5 times 3, which equals 15 centimeters squared. And we can confirm that because if we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, it does in fact have 15 squares covering the surface of this 2D shape. Let's take a look at this one down here. Perimeter first. We need to measure the distance around the outside edge. So our first edge is 4, our second edge is 4, and then we have another edge that's 4 and another edge that's 2. We would add those up. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12 centimeters. For area for this one, remember it is length times width. So we would just multiply 4 times 2, which would be 8 centimeters squared. And again, we can count that and confirm that there are in fact 8 squares. Moving on to the last one, which is in fact a square itself, which doesn't really change much. Perimeter again, we have 4 sides that are 3. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 6 plus 6, which is 12. So interesting, this shape and this shape have the same perimeter. I wonder if they have the same area. Well, let's find out. area, again, is length times width. I'm just going to draw a line here so I'm separating my work. 3 times 3, which would then give us 9 centimeters squared. So in fact, they don't have the same area, even though they do have the same perimeter. What we can tell about this shape is it's more of a square, and it in fact has a larger area. This one's a little bit more rectangular, and it actually has a smaller area. 2 more squares or rectangles. Go ahead and press pause and try these, and when you're finished, turn on your or turn it to play again, and we can check. All right, let's take a look. Perimeter. Remember, we are adding the distance around all of the edges. Now, they only have 2 labeled, but we know the opposite edge is also the same. So 4 plus 3 around this outside edge, plus 4 plus 3 around this outside edge. 7 plus 7 equals 14 centimeters. For area, remember, we're multiplying the length times the width. 4 times 3 equaling 12 centimeters squared. Our second rectangle, our perimeter, again adding the outside edges, 6 for our first edge, plus 2, plus again 6, plus again the other 2. 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16. So it's 16 centimeters. For our area, again, it is length times width, 6 times 2, which is 12 centimeters squared. So these ones have the same area, but have slightly different perimeters. And again, here we have a long rectangle, a longer rectangle, which seems to have a larger perimeter, and a more square shaped rectangle which has a smaller perimeter. All right, at this point we are moving on to what is new in grade